So I'm going to go ahead and get us started. Real quickly, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Leslie Garrettsy. I work in the Alumni and Family Engagement Office at Pitzer. Thank you again to everyone for joining us tonight. We're really excited to talk about Alumni Weekend 2023 and to be able to interact with all of you reunion reps. So first, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jenna Goff. Jenna, if you want to unmute and give us a welcome.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Jenna Goff. I am the Director of Alumni and Family Engagement here at Pitzer, and I want to welcome you on behalf of the Engagement and Annual Giving team to our first ever Alumni Weekend Reunion Volunteer Summit. We are so thrilled to be able to offer this opportunity to bring all of our volunteers together around Alumni Weekend to talk about some of the expectations from the staff side, some goals, and bring everyone together just to exchange ideas, get to know each other, and hopefully generate some great excitement about Alumni Weekend for this coming year. It is not a secret that it's been a while since we've been able to do Alumni Weekend like we wanted to, and we are planning to make it up this year. So we are so grateful for your partnership and your passion when it comes to Pitzer and Alumni Weekend. Some things that I wanted to mention: as you saw when you logged in, we are recording this session for anyone who was not able to join us live or is interested in watching at a later time. It would also be very helpful if you could update your name by adding in your class year. So you can hover over your name. I think you can right click and rename. I know if you are on a tablet or a phone, it makes it a little bit different and more complicated, but if possible, add your class year into your name. And then also, I know we have been Zooming for a very long time now, but try to keep yourself on mute while speakers are talking just to avoid any interruptions. And like Leslie mentioned, we have a lot to get through today. So we encourage you to use the chat, raise your hand if you want to participate. We'll have some time toward the end where we'll be able to hear from you. Hear what it is that you're most looking forward to. Maybe some of you who have served as a reunion rep in the past, what you liked about it, what you're hoping to do this time, what worked, what didn't work. We're just really interested to hear anything you're willing to share about your experiences volunteering with our office throughout the years. So I think that's all that I have planned. Leslie, back to you, or over to Shannon.
Thanks, Jenna. Over to Shannon.
Yes, hi everyone. So nice to meet all of our alumni that have joined today. I'm Shannon Speckratelli, and I'm the Interim Executive Director for Alumni and Family Engagement and Annual Giving.
Shannon, you're hard to hear.
Oh, sorry. Is that a little bit better?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. So again, welcoming everyone, and just thrilled to have you join the summit today. And we'll talk a little bit about the reunion giving piece in a little bit, but I will be your staff liaison as we're thinking about the class gift and setting class gift goals and engaging your peers for class gift.
Thank you, Shannon. Jill, if you can unmute and introduce yourself.
I would be happy to. And I want to say that I'm class of 87. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, good. And I don't have my mouse, so I'm having a hard time putting 87 in there. But I just do want to say thank you for having me here, and thanks to everybody who's joining. I'm class of 87, and I have been involved with the college on many occasions as a volunteer. And when I was thinking about what does make it really rewarding for me, thank you, is just being connected with the campus, seeing it really, you see it's different, but yet you remember it, and it just has a deepening effect on me. Seeing classmates, and then of course the faculty and staff. I think these all just really have filled in long relationship with Pitzer. So I encourage you in any way that you do it, that you take a moment to appreciate things that you love and that bring memories back, and then also new people and things, because I do think every opportunity like this, you meet somebody new, and they're often very like-minded folks, and you have even if you're not the same class year, you have a lot of memories that are mutual or coincide. So I just really love these opportunities. So that's all. And thank you again for adding my 87, probably Brooke.
Thanks so much, Jill. All right, so now we are going to hear from everyone. We'd like to kind of go around and do introductions. So maybe to make this manageable, I'll go ahead and call on you. When there's a large group on Zoom, I know it's easy to accidentally talk over folks, but when I call on you, if you want to just introduce yourself, if you're alumni, let us know your name, your class year, which reunion you're celebrating, if you can remember the number of times you've attended Alumni Weekend and why you're interested in being a volunteer. If you're staff, if you can just introduce yourself and let these wonderful alumni know what you do for Pitzer. All right, I'm just going to start at the top of my list. I'm going to go ahead, Brooke, if you wouldn't mind unmuting and introducing yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Brooke Butler. I'm the coordinator for Alumni and Family Engagement and Annual Giving. And I've been at Pitzer for 14 years.
Thanks, Brooke. Amanda, if you can unmute and introduce yourself. We'll come back to Amanda. Bernard, if you'd like to unmute and introduce yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay, great. Well, I have a little bit of history with Pitzer, half a century or so. Graduated in 1971. So I have been around campus all of those years, actually, and have had great opportunities, especially in recent years, joining with other therapists in the community to be of service to Mansour and helping students in various capacities through the years, and dropping in every once in a while to alumni functions through the years. So I look forward to what we can do a little bit differently and creatively this year, and look forward to sharing ideas with all who are volunteering.
Thank you so much. It's great to meet you virtually. Next on my list, I'm going to bring it back to Amanda real quick. Amanda, are you able to unmute now?
Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda Sun. I am the Alumni and Family Engagement Specialist. It's great to meet everybody.
Thanks, Amanda. Next on my list is Kat C. Can you unmute and introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine. This isn't my class year, but I'm willing to volunteer, and glad to see so many friendly faces and can't wait for the reunion. We've missed it last 3 years.
Thank you, Catherine. All right, let's see, John, you're next on my list. If you can unmute and introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. My name is John Rice. My pronouns are he, him, his. Class of 2013, 10-year reunion coming up, which is absolutely terrifying, but great. How many times I've been at Alumni Weekend? 4 or 5, I think. There are a couple years that they're all blended together. Lots of wine at the tasting reception. Anyway, why I volunteered, former alumni board member, have a little time away from Pitzer volunteering, so figured 10 years was a good excuse to come on back and help out and support however I can.
Awesome. Thanks so much, John. Next on my list is Mary. If you can unmute and introduce yourself, please.
There we go. Mary Hoskins, 1972, 50th year reunion. I have only attended, I believe, one reunion in the 50 years since I graduated. Sorry. But I had a great time, actually, but life has been busy, and now I have time on my hands. I'm retired, and I actually convened a group of my classmates virtually, and none of them was willing to step forward, so I decided to be the person. I just finished planning a family reunion, so I thought, okay, maybe I can contribute something, but looking forward to it.
You've got it in the bag, Mary. Thank you. All right, next on my list is Mina. Mina, can you unmute and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name is Mina Duguay. I'm the class year of 1993, so this will be my 30th reunion. So it's like, whoo, 30 coming up. I've attended it probably around 3 times. The first time I attended was probably my most memorable. I think it was our 10-year. That was actually, they gave us the opportunity to be in the new dorms, and I brought my kids, and we got to stay in the dorms for the weekend. It was fabulous. It was a good influence on them. So now they're older, but it was a good, and the reason why I volunteered was I just really I haven't been able to be very active in it. So I wanted to do something to participate in my school. Also, some of the other reunions I went to didn't really kind of match up to my expectations. I was kind of hoping to have more events like in the evening and some more Grove House time. So I just wanted to see what I could best do. I said, you know what, I better just volunteer and become a part of it and see what else I can do to help.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's great to have you a part of it. Next on my list is Melinda. Melinda, it's nice to see you virtually. We've emailed quite a bit. Can you unmute and introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hi. Well, I'm part of that infamous class of 1968, and I come back as often as I possibly can. And I'm really interested in helping the college connect with what are the roots of Pitzer's community governance and the values that which we laboriously worked on to start the college. And of course, I love seeing all my classmates, but mostly what keeps me connected is how meaningful it was for me to be part of starting something big like Pitzer that is lasting, and being part of articulating the values and keeping them going. So that's why I want to keep coming back.
That's great. I feel like literally none of us would be here if it weren't for you and your classmates. So thank you. And I'm glad that you're involved. Next on my list is Mitchell. Would you like to unmute and introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Nice to see some familiar faces and hear some familiar voices. I'm Mitchell, class of 2013, along with John Rice. I've been to, I think, 5 reunions. The last one was our 5th year reunion, and we're celebrating 10 this year. I'm mainly here because we got 50 people at the last one, and from my class, and I want to top that number.
I love that. Busting goals. That's wonderful. Awesome. So I think that is everyone. I'm going to pause for just a minute. Did I miss anyone's name? You know, on Zoom, sometimes names and squares shift around. So that was not intentional, but did I miss anyone? I don't think so. Awesome. Okay, I am going to turn it over to Jenna.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about Alumni Weekend 2023. The dates have been set for April 28th through the 30th. We are planning for partnership with some of the other Claremonts as usual. Pomona, Harvey Mudd, and Scripps align with the weekends that we've selected. We are planning for in-person, and I think that we will just say that and leave it there. Our goal is to launch registration in January of 2023. Some of the things that you can count on, I know it was mentioned like the wine tasting in the past, so we plan on doing that joint wine tasting with Scripps and Harvey Mudd. Having Nigel host the Fulbright reception is part of our plan. We will do a 50th reunion reception and dinner at the president's residence. As you may or may not know, we have an interim president, Jill Klein, who is a parent of an alumna from 2015, serving as interim president for this year while we are on the hunt for our next Pitzer president. She has graciously opened the president's residence for all sorts of activities. So we plan on utilizing it for a lot of our 50th reunion activities, as well as some of the, we want to honor the classes who have celebrated 50th and above. And bringing everyone together as our trailblazing classes. So I anticipate a lot of activities at the president's residence. We will honor our alumni award recipients. We're still thinking through what exactly this looks like, knowing that we have missed a couple of years. We want to invite back all of our past awardees and make sure that we're able to honor those who have received awards and didn't get that recognition in person over the last few years. And then, of course, our all-class celebration dinner, which is very fun. And I hear the late night events. We too want to make sure we have something fun later into the evening. The Grove House is a huge part of Pitzer tradition. So we will definitely be hosting things at the Grove House. So those are some of the activities that you can plan on. And I know that a lot of the conversations coming from this meeting and follow-up meetings will help build the robustness of what our schedule will look like in thinking through some events that are potentially for your class or your decade, or open to everyone that you just think would be really fun to do.
Thank you, Jenna. So real quick, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about what we're gonna do here today in the summit. First, we'll talk about sort of what to expect for the next 50 minutes or so, or no, 42 minutes. And then we'll talk about some goals. So we're going to talk about our reunion celebration focus. We'll also share some key Alumni Weekend communications with you. Then we'll talk about volunteer impact as well as volunteer responsibilities. Then, like Jenna mentioned earlier, we'll open it up for past reunion rep insights. We'll talk to you a little bit about what's coming next as far as reunion volunteering, and then we'll open it up to the whole group for questions. So some goals today, of course, get excited. Just through the introductions, I think that it's very clear that we all have a lot to be excited about in having this conversation. We'll talk about, obviously, we're going to talk about the reunion focus. We're going to learn about the impact, the role, and the responsibilities, and then talk about next steps. So first up, we're going to talk about the reunion focus. So you signed up for this summit, so I assume that you've been getting our emails and you're probably very aware of this. But for Alumni Weekend 2023, we really wanted to focus in on everyone who's in reunion, but specifically we wanted to really focus in on those Pitzer Trailblazers, the classes that are celebrating 50 years or more since graduation. Like Jenna mentioned, with Alumni Weekend not happening in the last couple of years, obviously there were a couple of 50ths that came. And so we're really looking forward to engaging that Pitzer Trailblazer, what we're calling Pitzer Trailblazers, and to, some of your points earlier, these were really the classes that really built and began Pitzer. And we really want to make sure that we're honoring them in a special way. And then, of course, focusing on all of the classes that are in reunion. So everyone from a class ending in a 3 or an 8. So that's ranging from five-year reunion all the way through 45-year reunion. And I'm going to send it back over to Jenna.
Thank you. So we have built a fairly robust communication plan, and we wanted to give you some of that insider information as to how we go about marketing Alumni Weekend to the community. So we utilize direct mail and email. We are in the process of developing some class-specific web pages that we will utilize to have class-specific information. We can have, with the permission of those who are registering, a who's coming list. So you can see who from your class is planning to attend. If you have old photos from your time on campus or past reunions, we can share that there. We also want to make sure that we are making an emphasis on giving back to Pitzer. And there are a variety of different ways that you can give back, and one of those ways is financially. So we'll have some light competition when it comes to making an impact in that way, so we can provide updates on those pages and a place for all of your fellow reunioning alumni, it's kind of a tricky one, to land on when we're sharing information. We will utilize text messaging platforms, which have been really beneficial with the volume of emails we all get. It's very easy for things to get lost. And so we can have a platform that we use where we can send personalized text messages and phone calls. We utilize our student calling program to make contact to anyone that they talk to with those class years ending in 3s and 8s to just share information about what's happening with Alumni Weekend. And then we'll utilize other emails that go out, newsletters, social media really any and every way that we communicate with you, we will be talking about Alumni Weekend. So on the screen, you can see a little bit of the cadence of the emails that'll be going out, who they're going to and what sort. This is not a comprehensive list because we take up a lot of slides if we shared that much information, but just to give you a sense of the promotion that we'll be doing, we'll send out a save the date. And then I mentioned registration launching in January, and then we'll send out reminders. The way that those emails work is we will send out the first initial registration email. After that, we'll set up our database so that anyone who's registered will be pulled out from that list. So a reminder will go to those who haven't had a chance to register yet, or who have given us positive regrets that they aren't able to attend. Something that we find very valuable is the outreach from our volunteers to their classmates. And whether that is your class year or the decade that spans your class year, having an invitation from a name that might be familiar or a class year is really valuable. And so we'll be working with you on crafting an email message that you would be comfortable sending, maybe highlighting some of the things that were happening on campus while you were here, or some fun that happened at a past reunion to get some of that excitement from your classmates, and encourage them to register and attend with us. All right, I'm going to jump to the next one. Okay, Leslie has mentioned how important our volunteers are and how excited we are to have you joining us. So one of the things that I want to just reiterate is the impact that you're making at Pitzer, on the Pitzer community, and just our Alumni Weekend program as a whole. We hope that you feel a sense of belonging to Pitzer. You are always welcome here, always welcome to be involved, and we're really excited that you've taken this step to re-engage. We hope that you feel connected to the alumni community, and we want to honor that you are leading by example. And we hope that with you getting involved, more of the people who either interact with you or are a part of your community will consider getting involved as well. And you donating your time and helping us build this program is really a tangible gift to the college. So we just want to take a minute to thank you for being a part in that way and acknowledge the dedication that you're making to this and the sacrifice in your time and effort to join us here.
Thank you, Jenna. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about some of the responsibilities of what does a reunion volunteer do. So these are my two favorite things that a reunion volunteer will do, but there are several. The first of which is helping us with planning. So a couple of you mentioned, positive experiences from past alumni weekends, as well as areas for us to really amp it up and make it even better and more enjoyable. So that is part of your responsibility as a volunteer. So specifically, I want to talk about planning a special celebration for your class. So this is something where, maybe in conversation with your classmates or in thinking about what your class experienced and enjoyed when they were at Pitzer, what's something special that you can do to honor your reunion with your classmates? So some more detailed information about this process will come to you in an email from me probably early next week. But we do have a deadline for you to submit your ideas to us, and it'll be Friday, December 9th. And the reason for that, of course, is we want to be able to make sure that we have enough time in advance of Alumni Weekend to review your idea, work with you on planning it, and then, of course, promoting it and making sure that it gets pulled off in a really successful way at Alumni Weekend. Pitzer will put forth a $500 budget to plan and pay for that special celebration on campus during Alumni Weekend. So if for some reason your idea or your plan for a celebration exceeds that budget, we can apply a ticket price to your to this special celebration for anyone registering who wants to attend. We can apply a nominal, however much it exceeds the budget, we can divvy that up and apply a ticket price to that. We would encourage you to consider kind of the broad appeal of your whole class. And if you're open to making the special celebration for your class open to all classes, try to keep all alumni in mind. And like I said, submission details will be coming soon about this specific part of reunion volunteering. We also are very open to you suggesting programming for all in attendance, or even suggesting faculty that we should reach out to try to get them involved in Alumni Weekend. So in that communication you'll get from me, there's going to be a link for you to click on the link and then submit your ideas or suggestions for us. Obviously, we won't be able to do everything, but we really want to include you in the planning of Alumni Weekend, not just in the planning of a special celebration for your class. And then, of course, there's rallying. So this is one of my favorite things to do just in life in general. But tell all of your friends, get them excited. Like Jenna mentioned, of course, it's your class so that you can share in the reunion with them. But obviously, in your time as a Pitzer student and as a Pitzer alumni, your Pitzer community is wider than just your class, right? So we want you to tell everyone you know in your Pitzer community and encourage attendance and involvement. You can call, email, text, post on social media, whatever way you know your classmates, whatever form of communication you know is most effective with you and your classmates, that's what we would recommend. And I think Jenna mentioned that we can help by providing email templates or text ideas or social media ideas for you to share and utilize in that way. And as we share programming details with you, we plan on giving you information once we lock in certain programming. So that way you kind of have a teaser. You can share that and share your excitement for that with the Pitzer community. I'm going to turn it over to Shannon for some other volunteer responsibilities.
Great. Thank you, Leslie. So in addition to rallying your class, getting folks excited to come to the reunion and thinking about class-specific programming, the other area that we would really love to have your supported is in peer-to-peer outreach for the reunion class gift. And we'll talk about this in a little bit, but we're going to equip you with the tools in terms of scripting and templates to help you with that, with the outreach. So some of the key areas where we can really use the volunteer support around reunion giving is assisting in setting our fundraising and participation goals for your class gift. And also thinking about the gift designation, right? So what cause or initiative or fund you would like for your class to rally around. And then partnering with myself to develop the outreach strategy and thinking about, how you're going to be reaching out and when to different classmates. And then engaging your classmates throughout the year through various channels, through email, through phone, potentially through social media and other channels. To really rally the class around the reunion class gift. And of course, we would love for you to make your own class gift. And, as you're speaking with your classmates, it's easier to say, join me in making or supporting your class gift if you have already made yours. And then once you have engaged your classmates and they've made a pledge or they've made a gift, closing the loop with them, right? Thanking them for making their gift, letting them know that you're looking forward to seeing them at the reunion. And then two other pieces that we're going to talk about on the next slide is, we're very aware of confidentiality and protecting your privacy and all of our constituents' privacy. So we need to maintain confidentiality with all of the personal data, including our class list that you'll be using for your peer-to-peer outreach. And then also, we're really looking to our volunteers to provide us with updates about alumni as you receive them. So as you're speaking with classmates, if someone says, oh, I recently moved or my email has changed, we would love for you to pass that information back to us so that we can update our database. All right, so we talked a little bit about the confidentiality agreement, and we'll share these slides with you. We've included a link to the agreement. And so this is just something that we ask all of our volunteers to sign and return. And before we can release those class lists, we'll just ask for you to return that. The other piece, and this is a tool that we'll be equipping you with, is our interaction tracking form. And this is an online form that's real easy to fill out. So as you're reaching out to your classmates, you can log what those interactions are. So you can update to say, this classmate is coming to the reunion, they've made a pledge, they're really excited to come. Here's some updated contact information. It's a very intuitive and easy to use form. And so really looking to roll that out for our volunteers. And then the last piece, we're really excited about this, is we've created a volunteer handbook as a tool for all of our volunteers. And it's very comprehensive. We have lots of information in there. You'll have all of our contact information, your staff liaisons, talking points. So as you're reaching out to classmates, having some information to share with them, our planning timeline, and then general information about Alumni Weekend and programming. So we'll be sharing that with you shortly after the summit, and excited to equip you with that information.
All right, and now we would love to hear from you. If you are willing to unmute or maybe raise your hand if you have something that you want to share, any ways that you've been involved in the past, something that has worked well, anyone, Melinda, please share.
I only just unmuted myself. How'd you know?
I do this for a living.
I was trying to figure out, should I raise my hand or should I use the raise hand feature? The best reunion that I ever went to was when we had, I don't know what we called it, reunion college or something. And several professors gave mini classes on what they were most interested in at the time. And we went around from class to class. And it was so interesting and so stimulating to know what the current professors were up to. And everybody got into really deep conversations about important topics. It went way beyond, oh, I haven't seen you a long time. How are your kids? Oh, my kids are fine. Oh, and I have grandkids. And then it was over, you know. But it got us intellectually involved. And I think it really reinforced the intellectual vibrancy of the college. And it was so fun to go from class to class. I know it's challenging to get lots of faculty involved in doing something like that, but that is my favorite memory. I forget what we called it, Alumni College or something like that.
That sounds familiar.
We didn't have any tests and we didn't have any homework. I remember that.
I love that idea. I echo Leslie's comments in the chat. I have heard about that, but I haven't experienced it. I think that's a really interesting idea. And with so many new faculty we have now, I think that would be appreciated by all. Anyone else willing? Yeah, Mina.
Yeah, I was not on a reunion committee, but I do remember my first one, I think it was my 10-year reunion. That's the one that I said that we were able to stay in the dormitories, which was pretty cool. But I know that's not possible now, but I do appreciate that we have like so many colleges that are participating, so we could, because I had friends at so many different schools. So it's nice that Pomona and Scripps and I'm not sure what the other one was. I think Harvey Mudd is going to be participating. But like I said, one of the biggest things that I enjoyed that year was when we had it was a big party at the Grove House in the evening, and it was back to the time that I remember, because that was really big in my years, when we would go and we'd have there might be an art gallery upstairs. They of course had lots of wine, lots of beer, and and a live band. You have to have a live band. So one of those, that's to me, that's my Pitzer time. It's that's the best memory of having that live band. I would really like to see, and I don't even know if this is possible, but I know at the time we had a lot of people that were students that had on-campus bands, and they were actually the ones that would perform, and along with local bands as well. So I would be kind of fun to see if anybody's willing to do that from those years, to see, hey, let's get the band back together, or or maybe some local bands to kind of bring that. I guess that would be probably more of a the year one, 1993 or something like that. That would probably be more like that type of thing. But I mean, just in general, just having just that evening for time, and also time on the mounds would be great. So anything possible to do that, that would be wonderful.
Can I second that? Because another reunion that I went to, and I forget why it was so special, but Laura Scandera Trombley managed to get Earth, Wind, and Fire. Remember that? And but the thing about it was, it was great to have such a famous band, but mainly it was sitting on the mound with everybody from every class, and just being together and enjoying that time. And getting up and dancing in the evening, and it was just a really terrific time on the mounds.
I agree. I remember Earth, Wind, and Fire too. And there was also mention of art, and I think there was 1 year where there were contributions from alumni and their art. I would love to contribute some of my framed photography to an art gallery if
Oh, good idea.
we agree to have something like that. There's also talk of a well-being center coming to Pitzer as well, and so I'm, looking at that development in the future as well, and perhaps that can be integrated into the marketing as to what Pitzer is planning for the future. I think that that's an integral part of any campus, is to have a vibrant well-being center and various components to that. My emphasis has always been in psychology, et cetera, but there are many aspects of that that I think can be a great contributor to the vibrancy of campus in the future. And we might be able to promote that as we look at those possibilities in marketing between now and January.
I haven't been a rep before, but I polled my classmates and got some ideas from them. The art show definitely was mentioned. I'm an artist. It would be very engaging, I think, to have something along those lines. One of my friends mentioned a book group, picking a book and having discussion, signing a book and having a discussion at some point during the event. Campus tours, for example, would be really interesting to all of us who haven't been to campus for a while. Tie-dye station was mentioned. I guess that took place at one point. So that's my era. So I'm wondering, as a class activity of maybe tie-dye would be a good one for the class of 72. I don't know, but I don't know how complicated that would be. I just did a family reunion, and a photo booth would be a lot of fun for people to be able to take photos of themselves with their classmates and friends. See if there's anything else. Trivia contest, perhaps, or an oral history of Pitzer. It might be kind of interesting. And something involving smaller groups, so that people, we love the big, all campus, all class activities, but it's also kind of fun to have opportunities to have smaller groups and maybe clustered by, graduation year, or perhaps a major. I was a sociology major, have a graduate degree in sociology. I'd sure like to hear from some of my peers in my subject area. So bunch of ideas.
Those are fantastic. I love that. I will also chime in on the tie-dye. We have had several tie-dye activities over the last few alumni weekends, and it is very glad to hear that spans the interest of all of our alumni. We in our office were set to do that for last year, and we're very disappointed that we weren't able to, because we were hoping for team staff shirts that were tie-dye.
Okay.
So this might be the year we get team shirts that are tie-dye.
Woo!
Yay. Anyone else have any ideas? Maybe hopes?
I want to talk about the tie-dye shirts. Can I talk more about the tie-dye shirts? Okay, I came with props, so hold on for a second. Okay, so something like this was very nice because of the clock tower, right? Can you see that? Something like this, nobody understands, even though it's a great idea. I get teased for this because nobody understands the math for that. I don't know if you guys can see. Does that make no? something about a gold
It's
and
a little blurry, but I know yeah, it's the graduates of the last decade
right.
shirt.
This is a great orange. This is also the canvas. This is a great orange. It's not a Pitzer shirt, but we could do something very similar with that. It's a great orange, and Sustainable Claremont did that. Not so great. The tie-dye was fun. This was a great fun, but then it comes out kind of weird. Better would be like something like this. I don't know. It's not very good on the thing.
Yeah, you'll have to send
There
in
you
some
go.
photos.
Yes. So that's my thought on the tie-dye, because Alumni Weekend, and then maybe with a clock tower instead of the chair. That's my favorite shirt ever. So those are my tips, but the tie-dye was really great. There was a special guy who came.
Jonick,
did it
you're
for
thinking of
us.
our friend Jonick Tool.
Yes, and it was really fun, and it was for everyone, not just the class, and everybody really loved it. It was on the mounds.
Yeah.
So
That was a special event.
yes,
It was very cool.
yes.
I was just reflecting on another off-campus activity that was done one year, and I can't remember which year it was, but there were buses that went up to the Sam Malouf Museum some years
Yeah,
ago.
the Maloof tours. Mhm.
Right. So that was kind of a fun activity for some of the alums. I certainly enjoy the arts, and so that's part of the arts. And we can think about whether there are other activities that we can organize during that period of Alumni Weekend that might be contributing to that kind of bringing together of the classes.
Great. Any others? This is all really great, very valuable information.
Well, I can add one more thing. At the last reunion of our class, a popular, just for the class, event was we gathered around a big table, and we had talked with each other ahead of time to prepare this, but we told stories of our favorite memories, the things that had really impacted us. Maybe it was a class, maybe it was a certain event, maybe it was something funny that happened, but something that we took with us for the rest of our lives from Pitzer. So it was a kind of a storytelling event. And in our case, things were so different socially. We had at that time also an exhibit that was done by our archivist. I don't know if she's still there.
She is.
It had pictures of our original founding, and including how when we arrived on campus, we were supposed to go through this weighing and measuring routine from the CMC guys. And so much had happened with women's rights during that time. So we had a lot of laughs about that. But I'm involved in planning my husband's Naval Academy reunion that's coming up in a few days. And what we're doing for his small group, it's called, they divide them up into companies. The guys that he was closest with for the whole 4 years, is we're having a dinner we're calling the Keeper's Dinner. And we're asking people with several, like 3 or 4 pre-emails to warm them up to the idea. You have all this memorabilia that you keep. You've got the yearbooks, you've got the tickets to this and that, you've got the pressed flowers from something. Which are the ones that at this stage in life you just can't get rid of? Pretty soon, you start thinking, that one, no one's going to care about that in the future. I'll toss that one. Or this could actually go to the thrift store or whatever. But there are some things that you look at it and you just go, I can't let go of this because there's a story. There's something meaningful there for me. And so we're asking people to bring that object, and we're giving them an opportunity to talk about that object at this dinner. I don't think it's ever been done before with these Navy guys, so we'll see. But I'm really liking the idea, and maybe it's better for smaller groups, like class-specific groups, or maybe not. I don't know, but I'm really toying with that idea for our class. dinner event.
I love
I
that.
have to chime in for just a second, Ms. Kearney. So I have from 1969, I don't know if anybody can see this, a copy of the Claremont Courier special publication, How to Go to a Girls' College and Remain an Independent Male. Well, this was, when I was one of the first of a few men who integrated Pitzer College, and I have some wonderful memories too, and all of them I can share, which is just amazing.
Wonderful.
So what is the value to the college in the marketing sense of collecting these memories and archiving these past events? I'm wondering if there's value in trying to stimulate those memories like Bernie's talking about, and if they connect to core values that we want to perpetuate.
I think there's absolutely value, and Stacy Elliott is still working in the Archivist Center, and she has expanded her team. We were working with them in planning for Alumni Weekend 2022, and they have expressed interest in wanting to partner. For them, this is lost stories found, and I think that they would be thrilled to hear or see or be able to photograph or copy any of this show and tell memorabilia people might be able to bring or willing to bring. I know there was also an emphasis on oral history. I know that there were probably some ladies from your class that were coming in and sharing stories, like audio stories. I don't know if there was a video component or if it was just audio. I think it's invaluable. I think it's wonderful.
Well, I just want to inject that if we do something like that, what I think would be most valuable is something that illustrates the thread through the years of the core values of Pitzer. Because what we have is something unique in higher education. The sense of community and community governance, which we have struggled with over the years. But yeah, we might want to think about how that's valuable in strengthening and forwarding the unique Pitzer culture.
Well, it's also exciting to think about the possibility of video recording of many of the alums, especially from those who were in those very early years and beyond, of course, just like they have done at other venues like the Holocaust Museum has also done that as well with those survivors. But in a positive note, I think that like you were saying, we have come through those past generations. All of us have something to contribute to our experiences in life and how those core values integrated into our life experiences and work, and how we contributed what we learned. I have flashbacks to my Black History English professor, Agnes Jackson, and wonderful memories of other faculty as well. So it'd be wonderful to have an opportunity to archive some of that when we're having people coming in for this reunion as well.
Yeah, I think, Bernie, people want to know, did anything that happened to us at Pitzer have a lasting difference? And I think many of us could say yes, and point to certain specific things.
Yeah, this is wonderful, and we are planning to have follow-up meetings for anyone who can join, where we can continue on these conversations and really think through the intricacies of what's possible. So thank you so very much. We are taking notes, and in the interest of time, I'm going to kick it back to Leslie so we can keep moving forward and make sure we all get out of here with the rest of the evening ahead of us.
Thank you, Jenna, and thanks everyone for sharing. It was it's so great to hear more about Pitzer than just what, at least for me personally, than just what my current experience is. So I appreciate it. So let's shift gears slightly and talk about next steps. So as a reunion volunteer, there are some next steps, and I will be sending you some detailed information in an email by the beginning of next week. And first step is signing those confidentiality agreements. So it is a digital process, so it doesn't require you to print, sign with ink, and then mail back in. It's a link that you'll complete online, and we'll send you that link. So you'll sign that confidentiality agreement. And we'd like you to help us in continuing our reunion rep recruitment efforts. Sorry, that's a lot of R's. Reunion rep recruitment efforts, because we really feel like the more of the Pitzer community in Reunion involved in helping plan Alumni Weekend, I just feel like the better it'll be. Also, Shannon mentioned the Reunion Volunteer Handbook that is coming to you soon. This is actually a first for Pitzer, and we're excited to compile some resources in a handbook for you all. And then next, monthly meetings. So at the beginning of next week, I'll also send out information about monthly meetings. I'm going to send you a link to provide me with some day and time preferences. Likely what we will do, given that this is a large group, is we'll rotate sort of the day and time of each meeting. So that way we can try to hit everyone's preference for time for these monthly meetings. And but we will have monthly meetings starting, this is the first one, next will be September, and that'll continue through Alumni Weekend. And that's an opportunity for us to check in as a group, see how things are going, provide some tips and tricks and updates, and just keep our connection during this process. And then here's some of our expectations. So of those monthly meetings, I believe, I'm not going to remember now, I believe there's 8 between now and then, now and Alumni Weekend. So we'd love to see you at every monthly meeting. So maybe that can be your goal, but our expectation is that you would come to at least 4 of those monthly meetings from now until Alumni Weekend. And again, that's to keep you engaged in the process, keep us updated on how things are going for you, and continue to be a resource for you. We'd also love for you to register for Alumni Weekend and attend. As Shannon mentioned, considering a class gift is part of the expectation. And then making contact with your classmates. So we want to put a number on this just so you can so we can sort of be on the same page about what we're hoping for, and contacting 5 classmates per month between now and Alumni Weekend, and reporting those interactions, like Shannon mentioned, will be really critical to making sure that we're doing that rallying of our classmates. Being a signer for outreach sent by Pitzer, I just realized I was going to throw this to you, Shannon, to finish up this slide. I'm so sorry, Shannon. Do you want to unmute and continue these last couple of points?
Oh, sure. Yes. So I think, let's see, you have already covered making contact, so the 5 contacts, and then being advocates and ambassadors to share communications. I know Jenna touched on this a little bit, and we're here to help you draft some templates to send out to your classmates to help with those peer-to-peer communications. All right, and I think we will open it up to questions now.
We have just a couple minutes, so if you have any questions you want to share with the group, we can talk about them. Otherwise, you know how to get in touch with us, and we'll be in touch with you, certainly. But does anyone have any questions for us right now on this call? Okay, wonderful. Congratulations, everyone. We covered all of our content and got to hear it's so great hearing from you, and thank you for being involved. Thank you for volunteering in this way. Thank you for engaging your classmates. They don't even know yet what's coming, and I think it's great. So thank you for your participation, and thank you for coming tonight. This is the first time we've done a reunion volunteer summit, so it's great to have so many of you here and participating. Like I said, you'll get an email from us at the beginning of next week. And otherwise, I will say farewell. Have a good rest of your evening, and we will all be in touch soon. Thank you so much.